Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Here he is indeed. Wow, that top's creased. Let me just pull that like that. I've just stuck it on. Good morning to you all. Hope you're doing fantastically well. I've just copied Connor's line. I got told off for that previously. Not from Connor, by you guys. On time. There you go. Get it up. Yeah. Hope you're doing well. Monday, and transfer time, surely. Something, please. Look, we've got 11 days now. We're going to be locked and loaded now for the next 11 days. Probably mornings, afternoons, evenings. You know what it's going to be like. I do have a watch along tonight of Arsenal Palace. If you want to join me for that, for some general chat. Hope you're doing well. Please do smash a like on the video, as I say, and please do subscribe as well. We're getting so close now to 23k. It's only 2 minutes ago we hit 22. We're on 22,923. So if my maths are correct, that is 77. 77, yeah, 77. So please do subscribe if you're new. Big up Leeds fan from Australia. Ryan Standell, JB Dixon never misses a beat. Big up to you. Manjeet says I can't see any big signings. I think we may get Josh Sargent. His stats are 1 in 3 in championship. Could do a job, but not really exciting. Definitely not exciting. 77, Pete. Yeah, just 77 away. To Shona says, really hope we get some activity now, or do we have to wait on anybody else going? Cough, Gnonto, cough. Well, we are going to talk about Willy Gnonto. We might as well start there. It's been revealed this morning that Demarai Gray, a deal has been agreed for him to go to Saudi Arabia. So he is he's going to be moving over there. However, Everton are not willing to sanction a move until they have a replacement. So for me, that replacement, of course, is Willy Gnonto. It makes perfect sense for them to go after Willy Gnonto. There's been a mixed bag of reports this morning saying that talks have broken down, but I think they're a bit behind. I think they've made up to like 3 bids at this point and probably will come in with a further bid. So Demarai Gray looks like he's going to Saudi Arabia, and they need a replacement. And more to the point as well, just obviously we watched Everton yesterday on the channel, and, you know, they were bad. They were really bad. Got battered 4-0 away by Aston Villa. Distinct lack of quality in the final areas. Dominic Calvert-Lewin came off with a face injury. Probably will be okay for the next game, but how often is Dominic Calvert-Lewin injured? Let's be real. He gets injured all the time. So he'll be out again at some point. Then Iwobi went off. Iwobi's was a hamstring, so it looked pretty relatively bad. You know, normally hammies, you're talking a few weeks at least. So they're so light on the ground. I mean, ultimately, they brought on 2 debutants. One was at Charlton last season. The other was at Derby last season. They're both League One clubs. So that tells you how thin on the ground Everton are. And you can see why they are going after Willy Gnonto and Jack Harrison. I assumed when the Jack Harrison deal happened that would be the only one. But you can see why they need numbers. Obviously, Iwobi out, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and like Damar says, McNeil, and also Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison's out for 6 weeks also, right? So they are severely lacking depth. I'd love nothing more than Willy Gnonto to go there and also get injured. But I think the saga will come to an end. Yeah, Dobbin was good when he came on. I mean, good? Or did he, you know, run around a bit? Because you were abysmal, Matty. So I don't think Dyche is going to be relying on Dobbin throughout the season, do you? I'm not too sure. You were abysmal yesterday, if indeed you are an Everton fan. They were really bad yesterday. So you can see that, you know, they need bodies, and obviously they're after Willy Gnonto, which we know and have known for a few weeks now. And I think, do you think Everton will have a punt on Somerville? Says Manjeet. No, they wouldn't. You know, That'd be crazy for them to do that. They've set the sights on Willy Gnonto. They probably feel maybe they don't want to lose that battle as well. It's about saving face, isn't it? It's about saving face. Um, and I think they will come and pay for him. What that transfer fee equates to, I think it's close to 30. I think Leeds United are holding out for 30, and I think they've played this perfectly. I think they've played this perfectly, which is more than can be said for previous ownerships. Because I think for me, previous ownerships would have already folded, would have already buckled, would have already sold him. We know for a fact Andrea Radrizzani sells him. He'd already be gone. Yeah. So the fact that Leeds United are saying categorically is not for sale, it's clearly a negotiation tactic. And believe reports up to this point, 25 plus add-ons, etc., has been rejected. So I think 30 million probably gets him, and I'd be more than happy with that as a figure. Anything more than that would be amazing. So, and like Michael's just said, sick of the Gnonto situation. I agree. I agree. So at least though, we're not going to bend over backwards and bow to the whims of the player. Ultimately, we've forced him into having to put a transfer request in. It's the best way to go about it because it means that the club have really dug their heels in and said you're not going anywhere after conversations with his agent. His agent's probably gone to them, right, and said like, how much will it cost? And no, it's not happening. Now he's not dealt with it correctly. I think it was an hour and a half before the game, the email went in. And then it was leaked to the press, probably from Willy Gnonto's side as well. Bit of my beard's doing me head in, it's longer there. Can you see that? I need a shave, I need a haircut and everything. So yeah, it was but listen, forget about Gnonto, like him, the person. I think he will get his move. I think he will leave Leeds United. I think it's best for all parties, but Leeds United are ensuring that they are going to get the money. And like Ryan Dudley says, 30 million and a sell-on fee. Clauses on top of that as well. You're probably best off sticking in clauses if they stay in the division because they don't look great right now. They do not look great. Even hearing James Tarkowski after the game saying there was a real lack. He said people ran around and that, but the heads weren't in the game, etc. Maybe that's due to the lack of quality who they're looking to for the goals when Dominic Calvert-Lewin went off. Danjuma did okay, but Maupay nothing. Probably should score from one of the corners. It's a great save, to be fair, from Emi Martinez, but a killer. Probably scores that. So they're not in great shape. I mean, there was loads of memes, obviously, yesterday saying Willy Gnonto's gone back and said to Leeds, please take me back. But I don't see there being a way back. But if he's here past the window, then he will have to be reintegrated into the squad. I know there's a lot of people that say, let him rot. Well, you just can't do that. Can't do that. It'd be remiss of the football club to let him rot because all that would happen is he'd depreciate in value. So you're never going to get a return. He would stink the play. Like, it's just pointless. If he is here past the window, which, to be honest, 95% of me says he won't, Leeds United are just playing this the right way. But if he is here, then we don't have to accept it. He'll be battered in the stadium, and rightly so. But come back, get your head down, score goals. But again, as I said, for me, I don't think he'll be here anyway, and I think Leeds United will sell him. And the fact that, look, Leeds United as well can now look at this situation a couple of weeks on and see that Everton are in dire need of a player. It's like Liverpool, right? Isn't it? It's like Liverpool when they bid for Caicedo 115 million. What they've then done is shown the rest of football that they have all this money. So when they're having chats about Doucouré at Crystal Palace are saying 80 million. 80 million. Because we know you've got that money and we know that you are severely light in that position now. You do not have bodies. The transfers that you went for, Caicedo and Lavia, you've messed up on. There's no one else out there. You turn into a 30-year-old from Germany in Endo. You know, you want an up-and-coming, decent player. We want 80 million. Now, Liverpool have not entertained that, but that's the bargaining chips that they have. Yeah. So for me, Leeds United can now see the state Everton are in. 2 losses, injuries all over the pitch, and also Demarai Gray is leaving to Saudi Arabia. So there's going to be money involved as well. Yeah. Sam says, difference is, Joe, we are a relegated side who need the money now to invest. I disagree, because if that was true, we'd already have sold him. Leeds United have already brought in money for Tyler Adams, 23 million. That's enough to buy players. We've also shed off, you know, a couple of million off the wage bill, also money. So we don't need to sell, because if we needed to sell, we'd have already sold. He'd have already gone. So that's I disagree with that, Sam. We're not skint, you know. No, Jamie, it doesn't, but we're not skint. You know that, right? You know that. I know it doesn't get you 6 players. There's people out there that think that we won't get 6 anyway, but that 23 million is up front. We won't spend all that. No, yeah, but it's all on the balance sheet, isn't it? I know. Listen, we've all got to be financiers and all this sort of stuff in this day and age. But if by your logic, Sam, if that's the case, why haven't we already sold him, mate? So why haven't we already sold him? You know, like Stuart says, heard somewhere we saved like 5 million. We've saved a lot of money in wages. 100%. Also got parachute payments, and also player sales as well. So I'm under no illusions that we're not skint. It's whether or not they'll pay the money. Look, again, I'll bring it back to Liverpool, and I know they're in a different stratosphere, but Liverpool fans are always frustrated with FSG, right? Now, we as fans from the outsiders looking in will look at FSG and go, yeah, but they won you a Premier League. You've never done that before. You won a Champions League under Klopp in recent times, while FSG were owners. But FSG will only spend what they need to. They won't ever go above and beyond that. That's why it was such a shock on the Caicedo deal. Like, it was insane. But if you look at Liverpool, this is why it's always FSG out, because they don't spend like the Chelseas. They don't spend like no, City are a lot smarter now, to be fair. City are always in the green because they sell players and yeah, anyway. But they don't spend like the big clubs. They don't spend like Manchester United, for example. They spend really poorly, but they spend money, right? So I can understand it from a Liverpool fan's perspective, but they've still brought success on the money that they've spent. So I think I agree. Matt said earlier, you know, we're not skint, but we will be very stringent with FFP, etc., like other football clubs are. Not everyone is. Look at Chelsea. They don't care. And putting people on 8-year deals and all that sort of stuff. We're not going to do that. And a lot of that is due to because we have this group of investors. It's a similar model to what FSG have. You know? So, yeah. Jamie, I hear you about the Virgil. You can throw the Virgil van Dijk one at me, but since they bought Virgil and Alisson Becker, it's been they got there and then they're happy to just chill. So I think the money is there. Whether or not Leeds will be, you know, go out with it and spend like we see other clubs doing, I don't think. I don't think. Steve says you say Everton are in dire straits for a striker and will pay. I agree. We are also in dire straits for a striker. Why are we stalling all the time if we have longer? I don't even think there's been any credible link yet to a striker, bro. So I don't know if I don't know. I don't have the answers to that question. We've been here before. Listen, I'm making a loose comparison. Like people are on about, oh, Liverpool have established defense and we have like, no, you're looking too much into it. I'm talking about the ownership here. I'm talking about the ownership. Let's not pretend Liverpool were going to win a Premier League and a Champions League when Klopp came in. Let's not pretend. You know, we can easily do this. I'm talking about the model with which they invest. Could, if Liverpool had mega rich owners after they won a Premier League and Champions League, gone again and improved the squad? Yes, they could, but they didn't. And then last season they finished like, what was it, 8th? Because they didn't replenish an aging midfield. Does that happen at City? No. Does that happen at Chelsea? No. Does that happen at Man United? Even though they're poor? No. They're going by all the time. You're looking too much into it. I'm just talking about the investment model. And like Will says there, Virgil van Dijk was bought along with Alisson because they sold Philip Coutinho for like 100 million or whatever it was. So I'm not saying we have a similar team, but let's not pretend, because their goalkeeper was absolutely shocking, for example. But anyway, it's not about Liverpool. I was just trying to make a comparison, but people have run away with it. I think it was a good comparison, but if it wasn't, then I apologise. Okay. But yeah, Party Boy says, only thing we should be concentrating on is Leeds. Is this the norm now, pal? Talking about the corrupt top six. Now he's using a comparison. Like it's such a where you just come in and just go Leeds. Like, what about when we try and transfer with players and buy players from football clubs? Like I'm talking about Everton's situation now. Because they need a striker. Should I not do that? Just go Leeds. Come on now. As a Liverpool fan, says John Henry, FSG out. They have no ambition. Can't wait for them to leave. Exactly my point, right? And I feel at times that we might be like that with Leeds United, with the ownership. Come on, all you need is to add that little bit more, and we'll go to that next level. You know. So I'm just making that comparison. Tanya says sell Gnonto for 27. Yeah, listen, I'd have sold him at 25. I'd have sold him at 25. Jamie says we are doing all our business towards the end of the window. Ask yourself why. You tell me why. I don't have the answer to that question. You tell me why. Now, we know that the 49ers have, data analysts and all this sort of stuff. And, they look at... So one of their main models was, in order for a club to get promoted, it's all about retention. That's the main thing. It's all about retention. Well, that went out of the window, didn't it? Because everyone they thought they were going to retain said bye because of the stupid clauses, and they thought they could take footballers on the word. Yeah, not happening. So that's one out of the window. Gone. The other analyst point, the analytical side of it, might have told them it's better to work in the last 2 weeks of the window. We don't know. Jamie says the reason is because we've had to sell to buy. Clearly, the money wasn't there to buy without selling assets. No, again, that could be due to the balance sheet. This is the point I'm making. So, for example, again, sorry to make this. I'm sorry, Party Boy. Be ready. With Liverpool, Leeds. With Liverpool, they'd have never gone out and got a Caicedo or put a bid in for a Caicedo at 115 million had they have not sold Henderson and Fabinho. So it's a similar sort of process that Leeds are following. Hence, where you look at other clubs who will just go, yeah, there you go, there's the money, bam. We're done. We don't worry about any of this. Andrew, it's not true. Like, it's not true. Everyone keeps saying this. They clearly do, because they've already bought. Premier League Premier League clubs all have money. They can circumvent FFP any which way you want. There's loopholes all over the shop. It is what it is. We have to be real. I can't be salty about that situation. But yeah, I think all clubs now really will sell and then look at what, because of FFP, right? Yeah, all clubs sell to buy, right? So it is what it is. Now, am I happy with the window? No, don't get it twisted. If you were to ask me now on a score of 1 to 10, what's this window? You're looking at 4, 3, if that. Because ultimately, no, it's less than that, really, isn't it? Because we've got fecking rid of like 9 players and have brought in 3 or 4. 3. Is it 3 or 4? Byram. 4. 4. And one of them's not a starting player at the minute because he's on the bench, and I think Meslier is going to be number 1. Yeah, all this talk of a 50% sell-on clause, where are you getting this information from? Maybe once upon a time it is not a 50% sell-on clause. It won't be. It's just not. It's not a 50% sell-on clause. You might have read it once upon a time somewhere, but I believe it's depreciated. Even Orta's not sticking 50% sell-on clause in. There's no way Leeds United. I mean, any club. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I don't know, but I've not seen that in black and white, and I refuse to believe it until I'm told there is a 50% sell-on clause from a really, really watertight source. But yeah, nah, I don't think so. Yeah, that's it so far. So on a scale of like 1 to 10, if that was on its own and everyone else was retained, I'd say, okay, it's meaty. It's 5. No, that was once upon a time, party boy. If you can find me that, then if you can find me that, because I've said someone told me this before, and I asked them to find me it, and it was a bit thin on the ground. But if you can find me where he said that, then I'll chat. Harry Crackling is saying Leeds are pushing Meslier. Well, I did make that assumption myself, Jim, because I did a video last week on it that Bayern Munich were trying to sign Ortega from City, and City said, no, we need a better number 2. And then Meslier was offered to City. Now, if you remember the week before, he was also being linked with Real Madrid after Courtois got injured. He's also been linked to Bayern, but I think they're getting someone else, so that's not going to happen. But clearly, either his agent or Leeds United are touting out his services. I agree with you. I agree with you in that respect. But my point is, I don't think no one's going to come. And I think it'd be stupid of Leeds United to sell him for a cut down price, because there is a goalkeeper in there. There is a player in there. And I don't think it'd be worth selling him at 10 million, in my opinion, unless, like Jamie says, that skint, that they need that cash. And that I agree with you in that, Jamie. If we have got money to spend, then you don't need to so yeah, so I don't see Meslier going personally. And if they did, I think it'd be silly, because you're only going to get what, 7 rising to 10 right now anyway. Yeah, I'm having a good day, Jim. I've not long been up. I've had a couple of coffees. I'm good though. Thank you very much, broski. I'm just ready to get locked and loaded. As you can see, I'm still tired. I'm not sleeping well at the minute. Probably too many coffees, but I'm, remember, the self-proclaimed hardest working man in the YouTube game. No one gave me that name. I gave myself that name. But make sure you pay your rent, though, yeah? And what we mean by this, Paul B actually mentioned this yesterday. If you pay your rent, you've got to smash a like on the video, yeah? Smash a like on the video, pay your rent for the channel, yeah? So make sure you paid your rent, smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe as well, because as I said, we're on 22,926 now. So if my maths are right, that is 74 away from 23,000, yeah? So if you could smash a like, that'd be great. And as I say, we're currently on 800 subscribers. So I say, jog on Stuart. What's Stuart saying? Is he all right? Joe's best mate is caffeine. Trust me, it is. Be nice to one another in the chat. I know it's a tough time for Leeds fans, but be nice, yeah. Do you know what it is though? I'm pretty relaxed. Now, you know me, Bipolar Joe, right? If by Wednesday there's no solid links, I'll be in meltdown. I know already. Yeah, I know already. By Wednesday, if we've not got any solid links, I'll be in meltdown. There's only 11 days left, people. 11 days. That's not long. I thought it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks is 14 days. There's just 11. 11. That's not long at all. Especially when you consider the snail's pace that we've moved up to this point. Because we have moved slow. There's slow and then there's sloth. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So I know my temperature, my blood pressure and everything will rise. Yeah, I know you are, Jamie, but you know me, I'm up and down, right? I was so annoyed at one point, and then I'm chilled, and I think my thing is, it's a new week, and we're going to see links this week. That's where my head's at currently. Now, whether or not that happens is a different thing. Yeah. If it doesn't, like Locke says there, and rightly so, he can come for me, because I'd be going for him. He says, don't go anywhere. And he's right to say that.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I'm not. Don't go anywhere.
Did you hear that? Let me know if you heard that. Because I don't know what's going on with this soundboard right now. But yeah, I agree with Vic as well. I'm happy with Meslier being number one if that turns out to be the case for sure. Just Locks, I've just seen your message. Things are going well with Cody. He's travelling to away games when he doesn't have to. He's playing, and then and then Locks has said he's doing card tricks. I told you, man, this is what he's good at. He's just there for the laugh, isn't he? I don't think he gets on with his wife. I'm convinced Connor Cody doesn't like being at home, so he just goes and tells jokes and plays card tricks and that. Ben Foster has just retired from footy again. Well, mate, he's in the YouTube game. He probably don't need to work. I mean, it's not as if he ain't got loads of money anyway, is it? But yeah, listen, Willy Gnonto, I think the saga's going to rumble on, but for me, he will not be a Leeds United player by the end of the window. I think the club will sell him, because it's money, and you're going to keep a disgruntled player. Now, if they don't sell him, then poof. It's going to be interesting how long it'll take for him to be reintegrated back into the squad first and foremost. And when I talk squad, it'll be bench, won't it? And then after that, it'll be subs, and then it'll be, you know what I mean? I just think as well, like from a character perspective, he's already shown us this season that he's not got a good character. I don't care about age, and look, he's 19. I know he's still young, and I was a tit when I was 19, so maybe I am being harsh, but he's got his parents with him. They're in the country with him. Who can forget the video with Jesse Marsh? You know, when we were all like, "Oh my god, look at Jesse Marsh." He said hello. My manager, my captain, Tyler Adams. Remember, don't let these people forget you that. Don't let them. Don't go anywhere. Do you remember? Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I'm not. Don't go anywhere.
My manager, my captain. America. 49ers yet all to prove. Certainly so. Don't go anywhere, remember. So Willy Gnonto, I suspect will be sold. Now, in terms of incomings, again, it's so quiet. It's really difficult as a content creator because we're guessing. Yeah, we're guessing. That's what we've all been doing up until we've actually seen any credible links. I'll bring you right back to the start of the window. Phil Hay told us, and I'm not like I can already see from an outsider's perspective, reading all the articles, that they're not being fed Jack, and the only source that seems to be getting fed anything is the YEP, and a lot of the time it's not like they obviously know more, but they're only allowed to print so much, right? But like they were told about Tyler Adams staying, and then same day gets accepted for Bournemouth. So the club are obviously being a little bit shady with their information they're giving to the YEP as well. Yeah. But if you remember, dial it back right to the start of the window, we were told Nat Phillips, Gus Hamer, Joel Pirot. This was in Phil Hayes' Athletic article. Can't remember other names. Then we were told we were getting the French person from Fabrizio Romano, which was Misha. Then we were told, I think, Kamara from Graham Smith. I was told Dennis from other people and some others, and none of them were right. None of them have been right up to this point. None of them. The only person who's been anywhere close to what Leeds United want in terms of profile is Andrea. That's the facts. Andrea mentioned Ethan Ampadu before anyone mentioned it, and he not because he's ITK, by the way, just because he understands ball, right? You can tell that lad's knowledge because he's looked at the club, what profiles Daniel Farker wants, and said, "Do you know who will be my number one pick? Ampadu. Do you know who will be my number one pick at centre back? Joe Rodon." And Leeds United brought them in, so that shows me his knowledge. His knowledge. And he's the only one that was anywhere close. So if you need to look for players that Leeds United might sign, check the scouting report out. And I know I'm plugging my own thing, but that's these lads and Lockie. Let me show love to Lockie as well, because you know they both do it and they have conversations, and then I'll take this one, you take that one. Yeah. So he's the only one that's been anywhere close. You know, I listened to other podcasts and none of them mentioned these names, by the way. So fair play to Andrea. Big up to the GOAT. We're all going to be sat staring at Twitterati today. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like that for 11 days. It's going to be like that for 11 days, bro. Don't go anywhere. But let's have a look at some stories that are out there. Obviously, one name that keeps getting mentioned is Cameron Archer. Hence why he's on the thumbnail. Cameron Archer is one Leeds United would probably love to do. I think a lot of fans would love to do. I know Lockie's a massive fan. And obviously did great stuff at Middlesbrough last season, but he wants to move to the Premier League. Okay, so if there's a move to the Premier League on, then Leeds United are out. Now, the only clubs realistically that are sniffing around Cameron Archer seems to be Luton and Sheffield United. Right now, I don't think they're going to spend the money. I don't think they have the money. You know, Luton have, but Ross Barkley aside, no Luton player's got Premier League experience. Not one, I don't think. Someone fact check me. But I think Ross Barkley aside, who's done, by the way, Leeds fans there was Leeds fans, by the way, last season saying he was a good signing. Don't go anywhere. You know, they are madness. But he's not, I don't even think I don't know if he started in their first game where they got beat by Brighton 4-1. They're the whipping boys. They're Manchester United. Not Sheffield United's wrong to say whipping boys. I think they'll be harder to beat, but Luton will get battered this season. I think Chelsea on Friday night will absolutely batter them at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them. But that's fine, because this is how clubs like, Tim Krul, Jamie, yeah, that was just recently, my bad. But clubs like Luton, and I'm not like, I hope I'm not being sort of like negative towards them, they'll be okay with that. It's about going up, coming down, having parachute payments, going again, going up. You know, that's what Luton need to do. You know, we've seen clubs do it over time, and I think Palace did it for a time, and now look at Crystal Palace. I mean, the perennial mid-table in the Premier League, but I'd rather be there than where we are now. Do you remember them people who told you it would be better to reset in the Championship? Remember that as well? How's that looking now? But yeah, so Luton and Sheffield United, I think, would be a stupid move anyway for Cameron Archer, personally. But he wants to play in the Premier League, because if he plays in the Premier League for a Sheffield United or a Luton and scores, then a club in a Crystal Palace sort of position may then buy him. He may then buy him. You know what I mean? But if they don't pay, then Leeds United are there. Now, would you be happy with paying 20 million for Cameron Archer? It seems a lot of money. You know, I tell you, we need to talk about Joel Pirro as well. Now, everyone's mentioning Joel Pirro. Now, if you remember, Lockie said about him being does he fit our system? I don't think he's scored this season yet in the league for Swansea. And they've changed their system. They have a new manager, a new way of playing. They went out and bought 2 strikers. I don't think Joel Pirro scored in the league yet. Or is that due to system? Could well be. Could well be. So I don't want us to splurge money on Joel Pirro if he doesn't fit the system. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people will say, oh, well, that's just go get Pirro. But we have been in this situation, folks, where we have had players that don't fit our system. We had one last season in Marc Roca. Marc Roca smashing it in Spain. I know it's early parts of the season, but he's smashing it. Like Demar Facey says there, Jerry Yates, who I think they brought in from Blackpool, scoring goals for Swansea. Pirro not scoring at the minute. Yeah? So yeah, Marc Roca system, smashing it over in Betis, possession-based side. Mad thing is, Marc Roca would have probably done all right under Daniel Farke. We've just to look at Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah, when he came to Leeds, system didn't suit him. When he started games, didn't suit him. I remember the game before he left to go back to Arsenal, he played against West Brom. The first 45, we were diabolical. Patrick Bamford came on and changed the game. Now, when we were chasing games, Eddie would come in and he'd score late goals, etc. But to start from the beginning, it wasn't the one. Eddie now starts for Arsenal in the Premier League. Of course, they want improvements. He's on 100 grand a week. but he didn't suit our system in the Championship. That's true. So we have to be wary of this fact. You know, we have to be wary of this fact. And I'll also say on the Mark Rocker thing as well, like, he was so unfit. And now we know just how bad the fitness was at Leeds United. That is it any wonder he couldn't get through 90 minutes? Do you know what I mean? Remembering that he'd also been injured for a long time at Bayern. So it's worth remembering. So yeah, I remember Eddie at Salford. Yeah, we've got Salford in a couple of weeks, actually. Less than 11 days. So no, a week and a bit. Next Tuesday. 8 days. So this is what I'm saying about system. Of course, there's other players that know more about this, other people that know more about this than me. Yeah, but I try to learn all the time. You'll like, without blowing my own trumpet, from where I was when I first started to now, I feel that I've grown in my knowledge, and that's what we need to be wary of with the Pirro thing, is system. So it might be better spending money on a Cameron Archer because he's going to fit the system as opposed to a Joel Pirro. For me, I back Andrea. I go get Joel Poliopano. These are like 3 million or something, and then maybe get another, because we need two. Really, we need two. Yes, Jamie Dixon, perfect. Pookie was a lethal goal scorer at Norwich, a goal scorer who fits the system. Prior to that point, not great. He spent time at Celtic as well, if I'm not mistaken. Not great. Came to Norwich, bang, house on fire. Could he have done that in Leeds' system under Bielsa? Maybe not. You know, that's why Bamford had that prolific season under Bielsa. You know, so we have to be mindful of that fact, because there's no point in spending that much money on a player if he ain't going to fit. Kevin said Bielsa changed, Joe. I don't know what you're on about, mate. That was his problem. He never changed, mate. Jamie said we'd be stupid to blow 20. It's a lot of money, isn't it, for a Championship team? If they did, and only that, then I wouldn't be on board with that. However, if they did do that, and then went and got some more, you know, I'd be like, wow. Do you know what I mean? That's amazing. So yeah, so Cameron Archer's one that gets linked. He came on yesterday. He doesn't get on that pitch if Nico Zaniolo's fit. Remember, they've lost Buendia. They looked at Harrison East 6 weeks out, so they went and got Zaniolo. I think they were always going to bring Zaniolo in, but they're looking at replacements to plug the gap, if you like. They brought on the lad Duran. They brought him on up top, and then Cameron Archer, due to an injury. I think someone else got a knock towards. I can't remember who at the time, but they'd already brought on Duran prior to that for Watkins. Then someone else picked up a knock, and they turned to Cameron Archer. But again, Cameron Archer, then minutes will be few and far between when Zaniolo's in the team. All right, I'm just going to move these dogs because they're barneying. Out. Stop it. Under my feet, please. I'm going to start arguing, and I'm not here for it. Stop it. So yeah, just one to think about. Coutinho, that was it. Rendo. Coutinho. That's what I'm saying. Coutinho came on before Cameron Archer. And Coutinho's getting on. They're looking to sell him, etc. So if you haven't already, smash a like on the video as well, folks, and make sure you pay your rent by doing that. There's 906 people here. We got 22,926. All right. So if you could subscribe as well, we're on that road to 23K. I want to get there by next week, which I think there's a big possibility that we do. Let's just have a look. I'm just having a quick look on Twitter, just to see if I've missed anything. Yeah. So Cameron Archer, hell of a lot of money, 20 million, and I believe Villa want a buyback clause in there for around about 50. So we'll have to wait and see. A lot of the talk in the press is about Gnonto, as you'd imagine. We've also been linked with Granada winger Mayerto Uzuni. This is according to Spanish publication AS. 28-year-old Albanian international, 23 goals last season as he helped fire Granada to promotion to La Liga. again, and it said we're joined by Brentford and Southampton. We're not signing him then. It's agent talk. It's bullshit. Like, why? And please explain to me why, if the Granada are being promoted to La Liga, why he's then going to drop out of La Liga and come to Leeds United. It's codswallop. So I seen that name mentioned yesterday actually on the stream. I didn't know. I've checked the press. Leeds Live, not amazing. It's just regurgitated from other sources. But yeah, and according to this report, he's also been approached by that team in Turkey, Stade Rennais, and an unnamed Saudi club. Well, Leeds United are not getting him then, are they? He's got a contract till 2026, and he's just been promoted to the Liga. I mean, where did he get this from? Josh Sargent, again, Josh Sargent, 1 in 3 striker, played under Farke before, never been prolific. I don't see that being a genuine link either. I've discredited it myself. I just wanted to have a discussion around that. Does people think that link is credible? Because at the same time, it came from Football Insider, and then the other one, I forget the other one's name, also mentioned another Norwich player. So it almost felt like they were clutching at straws. They both went for different Norwich players. Easy link to make, clicks. Not for me. I don't see him going to go in there. Gabriel Sara's one that would be exciting if Leeds United could make that happen. That was it, Kenny McLean. The Pinken, though, I think the Pinken picked it up from somewhere else. They didn't break the source like they did with the Max Aarons thing. So that's what you have to remember. I think people see the Pinken mention it, but I think the Pinken actually came after the Football Insider source. So I'm not too sure. Sargent is better than what we've got. I mean, that's, I guess, not a glowing rendition or recommendation of our current squad, but I think there's better players out there than Josh Sargent. Don't know how much Josh Sargent would cost. I don't think it's credible, if I'm honest. And he played at the weekend as well, and if we were anywhere close to that, he wouldn't have played for me. If Norwich, and probably Norwich, need to sell. So yeah. I don't see that, but if I was going to get anyone from Norwich, it would be Sarah. I think that would be that would be the one I'd go after, or Omar Bedeli. But yeah, and Norwich are going well. Norwich are going well this season. So yeah, and again, Andrea said that, and I said, "Oh, Norwich? Nah, I don't think so." And he told me, and he was right again, because they've started really well. So the one to watch, I think. Disagree, Joseph. He's better than Sargent. Probably right. Leeds forever. We forget about him, don't we? It's a shame Sonny Perkins can't sort his attitude and his training levels out, because he should be near the squad. But clearly has problems. So it is what it is. Jim the Quim says, I like that. Joe Rutter, serious confidence. Yeah, he's terrified of the ball. He doesn't run the best either, does he? I remember, I think if you go back to his debut, it might have been the post-match or the watch-along, I said he ran like a giraffe. Farken must be a fan of Sargent. What makes you say that? Because he signed him when they were in the Premier League. There's warm bodies. I'm not sure. Jay, nothing yet, mate, is there? I'm confident we'll get signings, but we'll have to have a look. Perkins isn't ill Leeds United old school, no. He's just not putting it in training, not giving us enough. But yeah, Football Insider's the source for Josh Sargent. Take that with a pinch of salt. It was reported on Friday, obviously. Maybe he is on the list. I hope he's way down the list. But yeah, 15 goal contributions last season in 40 championship games. I guess it's not bad if you can share that load. If we can share that, if we have a couple of players that have 50, it's good. But I still want us to go for someone else over Josh Sargent. Just my personal preference. But if Daniel Farke is sold on him and he is high up on the list, then I back Daniel Farke. Because the signings that have been made currently, that's the one positive you can take, have been really good. Again, Roma trying to get involved with the Gnonto deal, according to reports in Italy. Again, speaking to Andrea, it's rubbish. Apparently, it's a loan with a view to buy. We do not enter that conversation again. Just a little bit off piste, actually. Did you see the response to Rasmus Kristensen's debut for Roma? Did you see that response? I hope you did, because it was a joy to behold. It was hilarious. Just how bad and how scathing they were to Rasmus Kristensen, and it made me happy. It made me happy. I can't lie. You have to translate the tweets, but he didn't have a great game, and a lot of the fans here, some of them I starred some of them. What does this one say? Embarrassing. I'm still wondering what the point of buying this player was. All mouth and no pants, because there's a picture of him going, that's sweet noise, all that. Do you know what I mean? Saying you have succeeded in finding one that is scarier than Seelig and Karsdorp. Well done. If you actually go on the Roma post, you can see just the Roma fans in Italian just absolutely battering him as a player. But I've said before, he's arguably the worst Premier League right-back Leeds United have ever had, if not the. He was absolutely woeful. Absolutely woeful, which shows you the standard that they were playing at. I mean, it's mad. It's insane. Billo says Roma Ultra. Listen, I was talking on Rasmus. People who watch me know I was talking on Rasmus saying this. Oi, pack it in now. Go away from him. Leave the toy alone. Don't start. Yeah, can't attack, can't defend, just screams. He's a moments man. I mean, this is what Jesse loved, moments men. People who screamed and weren't scared. So, yeah. Llorente got an assist, though, didn't he? The thing is with Llorente, sometimes he can have really good games, and others, a lot of the time, he doesn't. But he can have really good games where he looks special. And then other times he's megging himself. I still don't know how you manage to meg yourself. Listen, we've got 946 people watching live. If you haven't already, smash a like. Let's see if we can get that to 1,000 live viewers. You thought his attacking was all right? No. Luke Aylin's attacking is all right. Rasmus is not. 22,926 subscribers. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and pay your rent and smash a like on the video for me. Yeah, so Rasmus Kristensen having a nightmare. Long may it continue. The only thing is our valuation is going to depreciate, and that's the thing. And is it Aronson, by all accounts, according to the numbers, didn't have a great game either for Union Berlin. Bit of a passenger, but that's standard procedure for Brendan. Again, more reports about Mai Torozuni. Not for me, especially with some of the clubs linked. One of the Leeds United News has done a thing on the Rasmus thing. Let's have a look. What YEP? Yeah, Archer asking price 20 million. Talking about Gnonto. It's all dominated by Gnonto at the minute, as you'd imagine. Because he's the main talking point, and I feel that that's what we're on. Is the case of, it's gonna roll on until he's sold. So that's gonna be like the transfer window saga, if you like, especially when you consider that Kane's gone, etc. And there doesn't really seem to be any sort of Willy Gnonto. I think you've got what's the guy going to Man United? Forget his name. Played for Morocco. Oh God, from Fiorentina. Name escapes me. You know what happens when I have brain farts. But there doesn't. I think the only one, maybe Liverpool, splash out on a 6, but they've said they're done. There isn't any really big stories, so the big one could be Willy Gnonto Everton, which is mad, really, isn't it? Amrabat, that's it. Niall, that's it. So yeah, that one's going to rumble on. We'll have to wait and see what happens with it. Everton have condemned racist abuse. What's happened here? Club is aware of racist post targeted at Onana. I'm not timing on, but listen, there's idiots in every fan base. But Everton have come out and done a report to say they're aware of a racist post targeting Amadou Onana. And rightly so, they've condemned that. No full agreement for Shea Adams as of yet. That's a positive for Leeds as well. There's a positive for Leeds that Shea Adams is going to be leaving Southampton because he's scored 3 in 3. So he's going to go to Everton, which is a positive. I think they're paying 15 million for him. So yeah, that's that. And again, you know, I'm disappointed to say it's really quiet, but it is only 12 o'clock. It's only lunchtime, so we have to wait, right? But it's lunchtime right now, so we'll have to wait and see. But you know, I'll cover it on the Just Joe Football Show. I'll be on Never a Foul at about 3:15. If you follow that YouTube channel, if you don't, make sure you go and check that out. Bit of a weekend Premier League review that I go on every Monday, 3:15. Enjoy the channel, great lads. So go over there if you're stuck. I'll also be doing a watch along tonight for Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Come on, Saka and Saliba for my fantasy team, seeing as everyone else has let me down. So yeah, join me for that. And if any more news breaks, well, if any news breaks, then I'll be there. But Never a Foul, it's called. Never a Foul. You'll find it that way. The Gift of Christmas Comedy Musical says, don't panic yet. The owners are very good. I mean, you don't know yet. Chill. And worked very differently in the past. All our transfers have been quiet until they happen. Yeah, they have. Yeah, I agree with that point. Anyway, thanks as always for watching. Never a foul, folks. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell. Please subscribe. Let's see if we can get to 23k before the end of the week. That's your Leeds United news up to this point. As I say, if anything else breaks, I'll be there, so don't go anywhere. And I will see you in a bit. Peace out, folks. Have a great day. Happy